Okay, so if I were able to run something like a ride hailing service, like the likes of your Uber, Bolt, or something, like if I could work with any of these people that build this stuff, this is what I would do when it comes to promoting it and all that. The first thing that I obviously would do is this. First of all, I'll make sure that whatever we're offering comes correct. First of all, if we're launching in any state, it has to correspond with what type of transportation that state uses. Like, for example, if Kekena Pep is popular in that state, then we will prioritize like Kekena Peps and everything. And at the same time, any other options will still be available, but still, that main mode of transportation that we are promoting and everything will be based on what that state has. Now, this is one big mistake that many ride hailing services make. Like, for example, there is this ride hailing service that I reviewed on my channel, and this is where I live and everything. So, yeah, you can go view my playlist on that. So, anyway, what happened was that for this service, I had told them that they should try to prioritize Keke Nape because that is what is popular here. That's what everyone is using. But it seems like they don't really give a damn about what I think. And that's fine. It's their company. They can do whatever they want. Now, the reason why I told them that they should concentrate on kicking and Pepsi is because of the fact that obviously it's what everyone uses. You can easily reach more people and you can make a lot of money in that aspect. Because, for example, Bolt, they have kicking and Pep where we live and everything. But the issue is that drivers that use kicking and Pep are so scarce. Like, they are so scarce that it makes, like me, normally, I would like to use Bolt because of kicking and Pep and everything. And because of the fact that there's a lack of riders, I mostly don't like using it. Do you get what I mean? So now, if now that these people actually continue kicking a Pep and they could solve that problem that Bolt is having when it comes to that type of stuff, they will make a lot of money. But as I said, they don't give a damn about what I think, and that's fine. The second big mistake is that the fact that since now that they're only concentrated on cars and everything, I don't know why they're promoting their stuff to students. It doesn't make sense. Like, I had this friend who's a student and they told her, hey, download the app. Like, they're trying to promote the app and everything to her. And I was so confused because this person does not even use cars mostly when it comes to riding around, when it comes to school and all type of stuff. Like, she mostly doesn't even use the car. So it's a dumb idea to promote to students because obviously this stuff is way more expensive than using a Keke na Pep. Do you get what I mean? Anyway, let's just move on from that. Now, the next thing that I would do is when it comes to promotion and everything. Now, my promotion will be based on practicality. I would want to practically show people what we have to offer. Not just pictures that, oh, we do this and that. Like, no, I want to be as practical as possible so that way, when people are seeing what we have, then, you know, they will actually have a reason to want to use us. Do you get what I mean? Like, let me give an example. So now, I'll talk about that ride hailing service I talked about earlier. Now, I remember when I first saw them and everything. They did work with influencers and stuff, but then the influencer just said, oh, you can use the app and do this and that. Like, they just making still videos like this. And honestly speaking, I was not even convinced enough. Even though I tried to use the app at first, it wasn't working for me, so I gave up and everything. I like to see things that are practical because when I see something that's practical, it gives me a reason to want to use you. Do you get what I mean? Like, what we'll do is this. So what we'll do is that we're going to get someone like a model or a content creator or something. They'll be like, oh, this ride hailing service works everywhere. Let's just use Lagos as an example just to, you know, clear things and make things sound understandable. I don't know. So let's assume that now that this ride hailing service is in Lagos, this content creator will be like, hey, this ride hailing service works everywhere in Lagos. You get what I mean? What will happen is that they'll be like, okay, they'll start doing a ride that leads them into Ikeja. They'll say that this thing works in Ikeja. When people see that thing, they'll comment, oh, does this thing work in Festac? They reply and say that this thing works in Festac, and they'll do a ride practically where they go to Festac. Then they'll do the same thing that, oh, does this work in Ikorodu? They'll do the same thing. Does it work in Surulere? They'll do the same thing. Does it work in Lekki? They do the same thing. Does it work in VI? We'll do the same thing. Ikoyi, the same thing. Like, you get what I mean? Now, by doing this type of thing, we are giving that user the idea. We're selling that idea that what we have to offer works. So if a user who lives in any of those areas I just talked about and more sees that type of video, they'll be convinced themselves that this thing works, that they should use it. And from there, that's how we get our customers. And next is this. If we're going to work with influencers and all that type of stuff, Any influencer we're going to work with must use what we have practically. If it's not practical, then forget about it. We do not want to work with you. That's how it is. They must practically show themselves using the app to book a ride to wherever they want to go to. I don't care. They can go wherever they want. Practically. They must show it practically. They must show the rider and everything practically. They must show themselves at the car practically. Everything must be as practical as possible, so that way that idea is being sold to you, the viewer, and giving you, the viewer, a reason to use our service. And finally, one thing that I would genuinely want to do is to start a ride hailing series. Like, I would want any ride hailing service in Nigeria to steal this idea. I don't know, because if any ride hailing service does this type of thing, I will follow your page. I'll always watch you, and even if I'm not living in the same state as you, I'll always follow you and repost and everything. And what I know is that if I were to go to that state that stuff was supported, you'll be my first choice. Like, I want to do this thing, like, there's this chick that she makes these videos and tangled web stories and everything. I want to copy her art style and everything, but then to make our own type of like stories and everything. Like, here's how it will go. It'll be like this. Timmy was a 9-to-5 worker, and Timmy had a very important meeting. Timmy got ready, but however, there was one issue. Timmy lives in the middle of nowhere. Timmy cannot find a ride, and he only has 1 hour to get to work, and his job is more than an hour away. So what can Timmy do? Timmy luckily found an app on his phone called Ride. And with Ride, he was able to get to work in 45 minutes. You get that type of style, right? I know that it's not perfect, but I'm just trying to give you a concept, an idea. But then we could even do a part 2 like this. Finally, when Timmy got to work, he entered the building and he noticed that wasn't his building. That was another building, and that building led to hell. You get what I mean? Like, something like that. Like, I want to make stories that are interesting, relatable, fun, interesting. Like, it could be things about maybe 2 people, they go to the club, they can't find a ride back home, or someone is a student, they're looking for a ride to their hostel or to their campus or whatnot. Like, something like that. We'll make different and interesting stories that can touch people's hearts and everything. And by doing that type of thing, you will have a strong user base. You have people that are interested in what you have to offer. People that will be willing to use your service. Like, people will take your service seriously. People that will be willing to use your service just because of what you show them online. Like, I'm telling you, if anybody in Nigeria was doing this type of thing, I would spend a lot of money on your app. Like, do you get what I mean? I literally tried to suggest it to a ride-hailing service that is in my state that I reviewed as well, but unfortunately I believe that they don't give a damn about what I think, and that's okay. But anyway, that's all for today's video. If you actually are building a ride hailing service and you genuinely want to work with me based on these ideas and everything, please hit me up. My DMs, my emails are in the description box below, okay? And as always, I hope I see you guys next time.